So in 2010, something interesting happened. In 2010, one of my favorite Pokemon games got a remake. Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver got remade in 2010, and I couldn't have been happier. What's going on, my gamers? Welcome back to Goshen's Games. And 25 years of Pokemon has given me 25 wonderful memories. Or 25 years of wonderful memories. Yes, give me 25 wonderful memories. Give me a lot more than that. And I want to know, leave me a comment down in the comment section. I want to know your favorite memories for Pokemon. And don't forget about my giveaway. Every month, I'm giving away a year membership of PlayStation Plus. I know that, we're talking about Pokemon here, but still, just, okay. Just, all right. Hit the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let's talk about Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver, because that game was amazing. Or those games were amazing. Gold and Silver, the original ones, were fantastic. Some of my favorite. They were next to Pokemon Red. Pokemon Gold was my favorite Pokemon game. I love the Johto region. I love the Pokemon from the Johto region. I love the Johto region in general, and I love the second generation of Pokemon games because they had Johto and Kanto, and it was a legitimate continuation of the story on top of everything else. Because it continued the story with Team Rocket. It continued the story with Giovanni. It continued the story with Lance, and it just kept going, which was great. You also had Blue, who was now the champion in the Pokemon League, and you had Red, who went into Solitude for reasons I don't know. Who went into Solitude, and you could challenge him in I forgot what. I think it was Mount Moon. I don't remember where you challenged me. It's been a long time. Because, 2010, HeartGold and SoulSilver came out. That was 11 years ago now. Because this is 2021. That was a long time ago. But those games were beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. They took everything that I remembered about HeartGold, or that I remembered about Gold and Silver, because I never played Crystal. But they took everything that I remembered about Gold and Silver, and obviously they improved it. They made it better. That's what remakes were supposed to do. Just like this was a fantastic remake of Pokemon Red, so too was HeartGold and SoulSilver a fantastic remake of Pokemon Gold and Silver. And I loved playing them. At that moment, all my Pokemon from Pokemon Pearl went into HeartGold. All of them. I transferred all of them. I got another DS. Actually, I went to visit my friend Brandon, who I mentioned in my last video. I went to go visit him, and he helped me to be able to transfer all of my Pokemon from my Pearl to my Pokemon Gold. And I helped him do the same. And man, it just felt good. It felt right to have all my Pokemon carry from here that I started in here. It felt so good to put all these Pokemon into HeartGold because it felt like they were home. Because going from here, the Kanto region, to then what was Diamond Pearl? Was Diamond Pearl Unova? I don't remember. So many different regions. I don't remember. But to put them into there, like, it was as good as the game was, and as much as I loved the game, like, putting them all into HeartGold and SoulSilver just felt right. All my Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl, or from Pearl, just I carried them over to HeartGold. And I continued my gym challenges and all that I mentioned in the last video. And it just felt good to play through the game. It really did. That year was the year my daughter was born, my first daughter. That was the year that she was born, 2010. And so from that moment, because my wife was pregnant during that time too, uh, and I had just started working at AutoZone. So that point, that time of my life was a weird time transitioning for a lot of life events. I had stopped playing World of Warcraft that year. 2010 was the last year I played World of Warcraft. I believe, what was it? That was after, I think it was Cataclysm. It came out around then, because it was after Wrath of the Lich King, and so I believe it was Cataclysm that had come out, and so I didn't play Cataclysm. I'd quit at that point, and in general, like, just video games in general were just they were kind of weird for me at that moment, because I was kind of lost when it came to video games. I didn't know what I wanted to play. For the longest time, I've been such a fan of like Final Fantasy, of Zelda, and all that stuff, but I kind of lost interest along the way for those games, because you had Final Fantasy 11, which was an online game, and I didn't like it, so I stopped playing that. And then Final Fantasy 12 came out. I didn't like Final Fantasy 12 at all. And Final Fantasy 13, I didn't have a PS3 at the time yet. And my cousin, who was living with me for a little bit during that year, he had an Xbox, so I got to play some Final Fantasy 13 on his Xbox, and I didn't like it. I was a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Resident Evil, but because I didn't have a PS3 yet, I couldn't play Resident Evil 5. And I'd played Resident Evil 4 so much that I just didn't want to play it anymore. And so I was just kind of lost for a long time. And then HeartGold came out, and I was able to play it, and I was able to feel the nostalgia from playing Pokemon Gold so long before. And then eventually my daughter was born. And then when my daughter was born, I would be up at night, trying to take care of my daughter while my wife slept, because I had work in the morning. And so at night, while I was taking care of my daughter, I would play Pokemon. And I think that was one of the first interactions that my daughter had with Pokemon, was hearing the music. And you know what they say, like, when kids hear music for things, like they remember it, throughout their life, or they recognize it. And it's funny because we're talking about Pokemon right now, but during that time, I actually was introduced to Persona. I found Persona games at my local GameStop, and I'd been curious about them for a while because I kept seeing them, Persona 4. So I bought Persona 4, and I bought Persona 3. I bought the collector's edition from somebody on website, or on a forum. He was selling his collector's edition. It was in mint condition, still is in mint condition. I still have it. And so I played Persona 3 a lot when my wife was pregnant with our first daughter. And it's funny because when she was born, the only music that would put my daughter to sleep was the music from Persona 3. It was so funny because she got so used to hearing it when my wife was pregnant that it just got ingrained into her memory, and so it was calming for her. It was soothing to hear the music from Persona 3. So my daughter would actually fall asleep to that. But then when I would hold her in the rocking chair, and she's falling asleep in my arms, I'm playing Pokemon HeartGold, and my daughter, she was getting introduced to Pokemon that way. And now my daughter, she loves Pokemon. It's one of her favorite things. She has a Pikachu that she sleeps with. Both my daughters love Pokemon. My oldest daughter has 2 Pikachus. One she sleeps with them both, and then my youngest daughter has a Mew. She wanted a Mew for Christmas one time, so we got her a Mew. She has a Mew, and she has I think Poplio. But yeah, so like, my oldest daughter, it was just one of those things where she was introduced to video games at an early age. She loves video games now. She's like me. I was introduced to video games when I was 2. My grandfather bought me a Nintendo and Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt. And so I don't remember if my aunt has the video or my mom has the video, but there's a video of me 2 years old playing Mario. But my daughter didn't start playing video games until she was older, but she got introduced to Pokemon HeartGold, and so like HeartGold has a lot of fond memories for me because of that, because that was the year my daughter was born. Unfortunately, I just like with my regular gold, I had fallen to hard times. I had lost my job. I quit my job and I started working at a mechanic shop, but that wasn't working out. So then I didn't have work, and I was trying to claim unemployment and all that stuff. And so eventually I was able to claim unemployment, but we had to move. And so I needed to sell a good chunk of my collection so we could afford a down payment or a deposit so we can move. And unfortunately, HeartGold was one of those that I had to sell. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, man, it kind of hurts a lot. Just because that was one of the first games that my daughter was introduced to. It's supposed to be happy videos, and I'm getting teary-eyed because I'm thinking about that. Now I have to rebuy HeartGold. Like, I don't care how much it's gonna cost. I'm gonna have to find a way to buy it. Ugh. That's rough. Like, certain games have sentimental value. You know, like, that's for everybody. Or maybe not for everybody, but, you know, some games have more sentimental value than others for people. For me, to give an example, for me, Lunar Silver Star Story has a lot of sentimental value to me. I have a story on this, but I'm not really going to get into it. I just say my mom bought it for me because I really wanted it, and because it was a limited release. You know, that's why I have a lot of sentimental value for this game. It's my mom bought it for me. Not that anything happened to my mom. My mom's still around, but it just I don't know why this game really means a lot to me. Plus it's a good game. But anyways. So certain games can have like a sentimental value. That's the reason why I still have my original Pokemon Red. It has a lot of sentimental value to me. It has a lot of memories. Being my first encounter with Pokemon, where it all started. And so that generation, 4th generation, with Pearl, which we talked mostly on the last video, but this one here is basically talking about HeartGold, SoulSilver. It's one of those it's one of those games that has a lot of sentimental value for a lot of different reasons. One, because Gold was one of my favorite Pokemon games, was one of my favorite games, just in general, and then the remake HeartGold, because again, like I said, that was the year my daughter was born. That was the year that my entire life changed. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm trying. It's not easy. It's not easy. I love my kids. I love them. They're great. But, you know, that year my entire life changed. And it changed for the better. And, you know, you have a lot of ups and downs in your life. And it's so funny the way that memories work. Like, you see something as simple as a Pokemon game, and you're like, just all these memories start flooding back to you. You know, that was a year that I bought my first RX-7. That was the year that my wife and I moved into our first house together. 2010 was a busy year. We moved up where we live now. We moved up here in 2009, but we lived with my aunt and my uncle for a few months while we looked for a house. And so 2010 was the first year, or the first time, that my wife and I had our very own place together, because we never had our own place. So that was the first time that we ever had our own place, was in 2010. 2010 was the year my daughter was born. 2010 was the year I bought my first RX-7. It was the year HeartGold and SoulSilver came out. It was a good year. It's a like I said, it was the year my entire life changed. It's the year I got introduced to Dead Space, which is one of my favorite games. Dead Space 1 and 2 was one of my favorite games, or some of my favorite games, not 3. But anyways, let me know what your favorite memories are for Pokemon down in the comment section below. This is getting fun. I guess the next step is talking about Gen 5, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out, guys.